Thank you.
Ellen,
Yes. This is RhodeMap Rhode Island. I don't know how many people have read this. I remember the Greenhouse Compact back in the day, pushed by Ira Magazine. And a friend of mine got up and said, this was not meant to be read by the public. It's not meant for you to understand it. You've had these meetings. We know about the Delphi method. I recommend that everybody read this book, Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21, Sustainable Development by Rosa Koire, Koire. Look her up. You need to educate yourself. Our freedom is at stake. With that said, the main question at stake here, I know you want me to address you. I really feel like addressing the audience here. The main question at stake is, do you own your own life or not? Do you have the right to determine where you live, what career you choose, what job you have, how to rationally run your business or not, what mode of transportation you use, and how you raise and school your children or grandchildren? Or do you not own your life? Should some government officials determine what is best for you and your loved ones? Most agree that the most valuable possession that you have is your own life. And people risk their lives to reach the freedom that our country has offered. Perhaps your grandparents or relatives did this. Why did so many people do this? The United States, America, has a political system based on the recognition of individual rights, including property rights, in which property is privately owned. Capitalism. The words from our Declaration of Independence speak volumes. Your right to your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is an idea that draws millions to our shores. But RhodeMap Rhode Island is taking us somewhere else. It's a social engineering plan, centralized planning by bureaucrats, many of who are in this room, who say that your life does not belong to you, but to society. The key characteristics of statism or socialism or fascism with their PPPs, public-private partnerships, is the denial of individual property rights. Under socialism, or more broadly, statism, the right to the use of property is owned by, in quote, society as a whole. And guess who controls the production and distribution of the goods? Who?
You?
The state. As Arthur Ayn Rand said, when you consider socialism, or statism more generally, do not fool yourself about its nature. Remember that there is no such dichotomy as human rights versus property rights. No human rights can exist without property rights. Since material goods are produced by the mind and the effort of individual men and are needed to sustain their lives, if the producer does not own the result of his effort, he does not own his life. To deny property rights means to turn men into property owned by the state. Whoever claims the right, in quotes, to, quote, redistribute, unquote, the wealth produced by others is claiming the right, in quotes, to treat human beings as chattel. That's the end of Ayn Rand's quote. And don't be fooled by the marketing of RhodeMap Rhode Island. This document was not meant to be carefully read and vetted by the public or the media, despite all your meetings. Ayn Rand warns us, the alleged goals of socialism were the abolition of poverty, the achievement of general prosperity, progress, peace, and human brotherhood. The results have been a terrifying failure. Terrifying, that is, if one's motive is man's welfare. Instead of prosperity, socialism has brought economic paralysis and or collapse to every country that tried it. The degree of socialization has been the degree of disaster. The consequences have varied accordingly, end of her quote. RhodeMap Rhode Island was not meant to be read. It's sold to us as a plan that encourages economic growth, social equity, and a clean environment, but it's all window dressing to bring economic paralysis and collapse to Rhode Island. Genuine benevolence and good communities depend on the recognition and protection of individual rights and property rights, and I'll end with a quote from Rosa Koire. Under the banner of saving the planet, we are drowning liberty. And I say that it is your life, your right to it, and please fight for it. This is the time.